Hello grade 7 learners and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Kung bago ka pa lang sa channel ko, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the post notification bell so that you will be updated in my latest video. So let's start our third quarter lesson in Mathematics 7, which is the undefined terms in geometry, which are the points, lines, and planes. So there are three basic terms in geometry which we refer to as undefined terms. So these are the points, lines, and planes. We classify these as undefined terms because the definitions of these terms are not precise. Instead, we use representations to describe them. Meaning, these three terms are not formally defined, but it exists in nature. So that's why in mathematics or in the field of geometry, so there is a representation to describe a point, a line, and a plane. And I'm going to discuss each by stating the representation, on how to name or denote, and then the other information or definition about them, and real life example. So meaning to say that these three terms exist in nature. So we can find the point, line, and plane everywhere. So that's why it is very important. So the first one is we have here point. So point is represented by a dot. So this one. And then how are we going to name a point? We can name the point or we can denote a point by using a capital letter. For example, we have here point W. A point is a location in a space with no dimension. For example, this is our space, so we can put point everywhere. For example, I'm going to draw here another point and we can name this point as S. So we have here point S. It has no length, it has no width, and it has no thickness. So let's have an example of a point. Tip of a pen. A line. So line can be represented by a straight mark with two arrowheads. So this is the straight mark and these are the arrowheads. How to denote or to name a line? So it can be labeled with a single lowercase letter. For example, this will be our single lowercase letter, or it can also be labeled with two capital letters representing the two distinct points on the line. For example, in our given line, there is two distinct points which are point D and point E. So therefore, to denote, so we can denote this line like this one, and this is read as line DE, or like this one, line M. So a line has no thickness, but its length extends infinitely to both directions. So this line can be extended infinitely to the left, or it can be extended to the right. So it can be both extended infinitely to both directions. So let's have an example of a line. So line guides on intermediate papers. And the last undefined term is what we call plane. So this can be represented as like this one, slanted four-sided figure. So it is only one of the examples of a plane as long as the figure is drawn in a flat surface. How are we going to represent or to denote a plane. For example, let us refer with the given illustration. Single capital script letter or by 3 non-collinear points. So in our given plane, so there are 3 non-collinear points. So when we say non-collinear points, these are points that do not lie on the same line, just like point X, point Y, and point Z. So these are non-collinear points. So we can name this plane as plane XYZ by using these points. Or by using the single capital script P, so we can name this as plane P. So plane has no thickness but extends infinitely in all directions. So as you have seen, so we have here 4 sides in a given plane, but it can be extended infinitely in all directions. And then it is a flat surface. So when you say flat surface, that's why in our first definition, it has no thickness or it doesn't have its height. So for example, flat panel television screen. So since I already discussed what is a point, what is a line, and what is a plane, so let's see if you can answer this activity. For our activity, we just identify whether the object is a representation of point, line, or plane. So let's have the first one. Cell phone screen. Is it a point, line, or plane? The answer is plane. How about edge of a wall? Is it a point, line, or plane? So that is a point. How about grain of salt? Is it a point, line, or a plane? Correct. That is a point. How about the strand of a straight hair? A strand of straight hair. Is it a point, line, or plane? Correct. That is a line. And last but not the least, we have the tip of a crayon. Tip of a crayon, is it a point, line, or plane? So that is a point. So I hope that you learned something today. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and see you on our next video lesson. Thank you for watching.